national educator.
Welcome, dear learner, to our today's History and Government Secondary Revision. And in our lesson today, we'll be focusing on revising a number of questions that are found within the range of Form 1 to Form 4 work. And I believe that by the time we finish, we'll be able to learn a few tips on how to answer history and government examination questions. So let's begin by looking at our first question, dear learner. The first question reads, identify two nations which belonged to the Triple Entente during the First World War. I repeat, identify two nations which belonged to the Triple Entente during the First World War. Remember, dear learner, that as you embark on answering any history question in an examination, it is important that you underscore key words, because it is out of understanding of those keywords that you'll be able to give a relevant answer, and you'll be able to avoid any chances of being irrelevant in your response. So I will take you through a few key terminologies that this question would wish that you understand before you embark on answering them. And remember that it is a closed-ended question. For closed-ended questions, we are asked to give a particular number of responses. For this case, we are told to give two responses. Let's go through those terminologies. The first key word that you need to understand is the term identify. The question asks you to identify two nations that belonged to the Triple Entente during the First World War. To identify is to associate someone or something closely with. So we'll be associating those nations with the alliance of Triple Entente. The second keyword is belonged. Remember, to belong simply means to be a member of a particular group or organization. So we are going to associate member states or member nations that belong to that particular organization that we are calling the Triple Entente. Our next terminology is the term Triple Entente. What is Triple Entente? It refers to an alliance of understanding that was formed by some countries that participated in the First World War or in the World War I. Remember that as you understand Triple Entente, we are associating it to the alliances that were formed during just before the outbreak of the First and the Second World Wars. And remember, the formation of alliances or the systems of alliances was one of the long-term reasons for the outbreak of World War I and World War II. Then our last terminology, we are focusing on the First World War. The First World War was a global war that lasted from the 28th of July 1914 up to the 11th of November 1918 when it came to an end. And we normally call it a world war because it involved many countries of the world. So dear learner, back to our question, identify two nations that belonged to the Triple Entente during the First World War. What is our answer? Our answers are as follows. The first answer is Britain. Britain was part of the Triple Entente. The second point, Russia. Russia was also a member state that belonged to the Triple Entente. Lastly, we talk about France. So those are the three countries that formed the Triple Entente. And remember that in 1894, France signed an agreement with Russia, and then the same France signed an agreement with Britain in 1904, and lastly we have Britain and Russia signing an agreement in 1907.